However you want to pronounce it, here in Louisville, the Cardinals have been soaring high for the better part of the last decade. They've been in the NCAA championship game 2 times in the last 4 years, and they get to face Marquette for the 37th time. Former Conference USA foes meet again for the first time since 2013. Down at the bottom of the bracket, the winner of this gets either Texas A&M or TCU. Another former conference foes. Winner of all this would go to Nebraska if Nebraska wins. And alongside Stephanie Cantway, I'm Jonathan Mathis. Stephanie, great atmosphere for what was a very balanced scoring attack for both teams.
Both sides are going to look to use all 5 of their attackers tonight. Look for Cabello and Haggard to run very dynamic offenses.
And with those balanced effort, it does not come with a lack of stars. Natalie Ring and Calissa Blackshear were phenomenal yesterday.
Ring is a 6-rotation workhorse for this Marquette team. So fun to watch. And Calissa Blackshear for Louisville takes on a little bit more of a load each time that she takes the floor. And she shined defensively last night too, as well, adding 5 blocks to those 9 kills.
Natalie Ring filled up the stat sheet in what was just a resounding performance for Marquette as we are underway in L&N Arena. A quick point for Louisville. Nialise Cabello, the splendid sophomore, freshman of the year a year ago. One of the driving forces for the Cards. So you said yesterday in the Marquette Western Kentucky game, it was difficult for them to sustain rallies, and now we see exchanging points here off the top.
Sometimes you gotta get settled into the match, first 2 points, but no surprise there that we saw an ace from Cabello and a kill from Ring right away.
Blackshear repelled at first. And then tapped on down by Hannah Sherman, who can be overlooked at times in the middle for Louisville, but she's been outstanding this year.
Good net play there from Hannah Sherman. That dig by Studer was fantastic from Marquette. She's just got to try to keep that on her side of the net.
Lafayette, Indiana's Chloe Chacoin. From Peyton Peterson. Dan Meskey, the head coach for Louisville, first year as a head coach. He was an assistant on last year's national championship runner-up squad.
And the best part is just what you just saw, him having fun and interacting with his coaching staff. He empowers his coaching staff to take on such big loads as he's taken over that role of head coach. And it's really just fun to watch him love the game.
There's a quick strike from Natalie Ring. But with Meskey, it's true. When you ask him about how the team's doing, he will also not only show his light on his players, but his coaching staff. He'll point out everything his assistants were doing.
And it's a different look for him to take on some of the head coach duties, but it's very fun to hear him talk about how Todd Chamberlain has really led serving and led recruiting for this squad. He considers one of the deepest squads that Louisville's had in a few years.
There's a quick touch there. Hattie Bray, who's been outstanding for Marquette. You think the way she's been performing, she should be drafted. And she was, 4th round, just a couple of weeks ago. And that a towering one, unable to be controlled by Camden Schramm. Now Tom Mendoza has a connection with Dan Meskey. He coached his wife at Creighton when she was in college. In his first year with Marquette. Look at that middle block by Hattie Bray.
And we'll see Calissa Blackshear hit out of multiple spots on the floor, but Marquette is not gonna let her go unnoticed. You see both blockers up with her on that middle, kind of 1.5 ball.
Cabello finds Blackshear that time, and you can only hold Calissa Blackshear down so long.
A good adjustment here from Louisville. The 1.5 ball didn't work, so they move her out to the go ball on the pin. Yes, I would still consider that a go ball, even though it's quite high. Calissa Blackshear can touch that ball up above the block.
A change-up that time from Natalie Ring, and she continues her exquisite play so far in this championship.
Ring here, she has such a good approach, such a strong approach, strong footwork. You think you're gonna get power out of her every time. She's able to drop that ball in the middle.
It really clicked for her at the end of last year. She wasn't the reigning Big East player, the all Big East sterling player by getting that much acclaim, but it clicked at the end of last year, and she's thrived this year. Just an amazing presence for Marquette.
And yesterday, we were just watching her everywhere that she was on the court. She will find a way to hit any ball, front row, back row. There was an overpass that was about 5 feet off the net. She was still able to get her feet there and take a swing.
And a dunk from the middle. That was Isabella Haggard, and Natalie Ring, as we were saying, has been set up by Haggard all year, and you can see the growth for Ring.
And you talked about the difference last year, this year too. It's also a freshman setter that she's working with in Haggard. So impressive for Ring to get better and better, even with the change of the guard at the setter position.
And Cressy, she had to do it with a freshman setter a year ago, and she's thrived this year, being first team All-ACC.
And it's been fun to watch Cressy's game develop in her time with Louisville, now being able to stay in front of the setter, go behind the setter, as well as still being a phenomenal blocker.
Back row hammer from Ring, kept alive by Louisville. Chicoine, Cressy.
Great dig from Studer.
Chicoine.
Chicoine is so fast. If there is any seam in the block, she will find it. We watch her here. This ball has some speed from Cabello. Just not able to close that block in the middle, and she finds the hole.
Ball stays alive. Cabello, Cressy. Just lethal when she can wind up.
Great job from Cabello here, really using her middle. You see her jump set, so Schmidt has to watch her as the middle for Marquette, and then gets this ball all the way out to the pin for Cressy. The block can't recover in time.
Cabello, the sophomore, just so crafty. You can never know where she's gonna go.
And she's fun to watch, like jump setting all the time, flying around the court, and she takes risks. Sometimes maybe not always to the coaching staff's liking, sometimes maybe not in the right times, but she has really developed into a 5-1 setter this year as a sophomore.
Not enough for Haggard.
But I still love Haggard being aggressive on that play. Marquette is going to have to take every opportunity to score that they can find tonight. That was one of them. Haggard was aggressive.
Well, you can expect her to be flexible at different points of the game. She was a gymnast growing up. All Big East this year as a freshman. And a little long, a service error for Louisville. They served so well yesterday. 5 aces against Loyola Chicago.
And it's a strength of this team. Every contact in volleyball is kind of a chain reaction. Their great serving also helps them be a great blocking team, set that up, which also makes them a great transition team.
There's a quick strike from Emma Parks. A dozen kills for the freshman in the first game of this championship, and now a big strike here.
Such a cool story for Parks. Career high last night. This is not an easy ball to hit. That set came from middle back, and she is still able to hit high off system over the block.
Chicoine. And dotting that outside is Emma Parks. And she got a tearful embrace from Natalie Ring after after the game last night because Natalie Ring just telling her how proud she was of her performance, the freshman Emma Parks.
And Rings and Parks are opposite in the lineup, so Louisville always has one of them to defend out of the front row, but they're also semi-opposites. You have a senior and a freshman. You have just kind of a different hitting style, so not the same defense, even though one of them is always alive as an attacker.
What a way for Marquette just to pass the torch, too. When you have this senior class been so dynamic, and then 4 freshmen have had to play big roles for the Golden Eagles. Misplay there by Kira Schmidt, one of those freshmen. She went to Egan High School and fittingly Egan, Minnesota. Same as her senior teammate, Sienna Eiffel.
Hannah Kenny all over that tip from Haggard leads to almost a free ball, really fast go ball to Chicoine on the outside.
Chicoine began her collegiate journey at Purdue and has really grown here junior year with Louisville. Cressy will continue to serve. A little long that time for Cressy. Been accepting a bigger serving role for Louisville as the season's gone on.
And she contacts the ball at such a high point that the ball's almost on a downward trajectory when she's serving. And also, if she can stay in and serve, it saves a sub for Louisville if they feel like they're going to be in a tight set and may need a blocking sub down the stretch.
And that one will go towards Marquette, who ties it up here at 12.
Radif has been kind of the 5th option for Marquette, maybe 4th, with her and Schmidt not getting a lot of looks yesterday, but she was really, really efficient and had a couple times through the front row where they needed her, and she scored each and every time.
Mari King, the freshman from Jacksonville, Florida, doinks it over. Chicoine just rips one.
You see Chicoine here again, any hole in that block and she's gonna find it. I think Marquette needs to make an adjustment and make sure that their outside blocker is helping with the hole.
And Natalie Ring, there's a quick answer. Studer will serve for Marquette. Chicoine, another answer. Or was it? Or was it?
The ball hit the antenna off of Chloe Chicoine's swing, so it was called out. One line judge was watching the line and not the antenna, but the other line judge was all over it.
Cabello had to bring it back to Hannah Sherman.
Fantastic net play there from Cabello. Pass was a little bit tight. Sherman's not necessarily the first offensive weapon that Louisville uses in that rotation, but she was up and able to help out.
Chicoine back to serve. 4 kills already for Chicoine. That one sails. And so Marquette, the first of 15. And this is a heavily clad red stadium, but there's one interesting spectator in the mixed in there. Her name's Andrea, and we'll tell her story next. Interesting spectators right there wearing both teams' colors. That's Andrea Miller, whose daughters are Callie and Hannah Kenny, who are playing in this game. Callie plays for Marquette. Her younger sister, Hannah, has been on the floor for Louisville. There she is. They're both from the Chicago area on the western edge of Chicagoland. Callie went up to Marquette. Hannah went down to Louisville. This tournament's brought them together.
And as a mom with 2 daughters that make the tournament, I think you're more worried that they end up across the nation from each other and you have to choose. How awesome to have them at the same venue. Maybe don't want them playing each other in the second round, but here we are.
Now Callie's a little banged up, but Marquette could have gone anywhere. And there were several sites that were closer to Marquette than Louisville. Marquette adding to their lead. And there they are, Callie and Hannah. But Indiana, Purdue, Wisconsin all hosted. The chances of Marquette ending up here to unite these two sisters, just amazing.
Fun story.
Back to serve, Camden Schrand, who had one of those aces yesterday evening.
Net violation called on Kara Cressy there on the block. Hattie Bray is so quick on that slide. Louisville may need to make an adjustment and go with her a little bit sooner, but that's credit to Haggard as an aggressive setter. You can't release on a block against her.
And just how dangerous Hattie Bray is, three-time All Big East. They're sliding in is Hannah Kenny. And she will serve. She had for Louisville season high 4 aces against Morehead State earlier this year. And then another one just down the line by Bray.
We talked to Coach Mendoza and he said, you don't really notice how efficient Hattie Bray's footwork is until you watch film, and then she's able to get her body to each ball and make sure cross and line are an option. Phenomenal footwork.
And a hammer from Peyton Peterson. Peterson knows a thing or two about having to play against her sister. A year ago, she went up against this lady, her mom, who is the head coach, Bobby Peterson, right in the middle there, who's the head coach at Northern Iowa. They faced Louisville in the tournament a year ago. So back-to-back years, Louisville's faced sisters.
Some good bloodlines of volleyball playing in the NCAA tournament.
And there's Peyton. She said it was a little challenging a year ago, knowing that either her or her sister's season was coming to a close.
And that was quite a match, a 5-setter that went down to the wire. Chloe Chacoin here flying at the pin. She has really been leading this Louisville offense. We talked early that the Louisville offense needs to be dynamic. They need to make sure that they're finding kills from all over the map here. Chacoin leading with 5 right now.
And Molly Wilson will serve, and she's been a reserve role after transferring in from Washington, but she's been dynamic for Louisville as it goes into the net. Jinx on the announcer. But especially Louisville's had these great practices, Dan Meskey said. It's been a thrill for him just seeing the competitive nature. And part of that was what Molly Wilson has brought to this team.
Yeah, she's a setter by trade, working as a serving specialist right now. But having that second setter on your roster that also has the mentality of a coach really helps for your recruiting team in practice.
Ring snuck it in. Her 7th kill of the day. Natalie Ring. What a performance by her. First time she's been All Big East this year. It feels like the way she's been playing, she should have been All Big East her whole life.
She has, again, look at that footwork from her. Behind the ball, sees what options that she has, and she has just been tearing up a really good blocking team from Louisville. She has 7 kills on 12 attempts, which is over 500 and unheard of for an outside hitter that carries the load that she carries for this team.
And here's what she did last night against WKU. Tonight, right off to a hot start again. There's the hit percentage you were talking about. And she was multi-dimensional ago against Western Kentucky. She had digs, she had assists, she did everything. And here's what she's been doing tonight.
She is the leader for this team, and you'll see that ball is always in a place where she has options. There she takes a huge approach and is able to drop the ball in the middle. High hands, line, using the hole in the block. She has all the shots already in the first set.
and to what she's been doing, Louisville's defense is one of the best here, there, or anywhere. They held Loyola to just barely over 1% hit percentage, and Anne-Marie Remis, who was one of the stars for the Ramblers, she was minus 33 on her hit percentage yesterday.
And that really was behind Louisville's block here. I think if there's one stat that stands out in the stat sheet for Louisville right now, it's that they only have one block. In the press conference yesterday, Cressy and Meskey both referenced that they want that number to be up closer to 4 blocks per set. And it's not just the blocks that show up on the stat sheet. They've got to get touches on some of these swings from ring and allow their defense to work behind that block. We see Blackshear in here too as a back row option for Louisville's offense.
Studer catches up with it. There's Ring, and there's the block you're talking about. Another one from Sherman. Chacoin.
Great dig from Strand right to Cabello's head.
The point will go to the Cards, and they needed it.
So we talk a lot about keeping the ball off the floor in volleyball, right? If you had to explain volleyball in a couple words, that would be it. But Strand not only keeps this ball off the floor, it is right on Cabello's head. So she has multiple offensive options and can run that fast ball to Chacoin. That's what makes Louisville such a efficient team in transition.
Cabello coined the word of the day for Louisville, which is just hungry. And that's how Davis described this team.
Great set there from Haggard. Everybody in the arena thought that ball was going to ring again as Haggard was running forward, and she fired this ball back to Radiff. So much confidence for a freshman setter late in a first set here in the tournament.
Haggard, one of these two tremendous underclassmen setters. Coin slips that one in. We're both across 20.
Chacoin is flying. She is touching the ball at such a high point for being an undersized outside hitter, and that ball goes high off hands.
Yeah, just 5'10", but she can really elevate. Blackshear keeps it alive. Peterson was stuffed by Hattie Bray.
What a sequence there for Hattie Bray. She ran a front slide off 1 foot in front of the setter the play before, and now here is just disciplined and times this block as Peyton Peterson was hitting from about 10 feet off the net.
She barely looks like she's been breaking a sweat too. As Marquette is on the threshold of taking the first set. Reality check for Louisville, the seeded number 2 team on this quadrant of the bracket. A lot to toot our horn about here in L&N Arena. Great crowd on hand. A lot to show for that fifth set show. You see, series history, this has been largely in favor of Louisville, but the last time, close your ears, Cardinals fans, Marquette and Marquette met with Louisville, it was a sweep in favor of Marquette in the NCAA tournament. Looking around the country, not the only game going on. Cal Poly upset both BYU and USC. The Mustangs stormed into their first regional semifinal since 2007. Michigan swept number 8 Xavier in the meeting of Texas and Penn State. Once again, they had a great championship back in 2009 when 5 sets in favor of the Nittany Lions. Penn State won it again a year ago against Louisville.
Louisville has responded nicely out of both timeouts. So far, came back with some blocking off of last timeout, came back with really efficient offense there. They just need to find some rhythm against this Marquette team that's playing with so much energy and hitting 429.
Set point will trail a little long, and Marquette looks to continue their upset bid. They took down 7th seed Western Kentucky yesterday, and they take the first set against Louisville. And it's been the usual suspects for Marquette. Emma Parks, Natalie Ring. Marquette leads the first set to the Golden Eagles. Marquette leads, continuing. That's 4 straight sets that they've won here in Louisville in this opening couple rounds. High hit percentages.
They are definitely playing loose and comfortable. The hitting percentages on both sides are just wild, and that's kind of credit to the lack of blocking that Louisville only has 2 blocks, Marquette 0 blocks. It'll be interesting if the defensive scouting reports match changes can start to impact those.
So far tonight, a goose egg and a dozen blocks against Loyola Chicago for Louisville, who's one of the best blocking teams in the country. Blackshear splits a couple Marquette Golden Eagles, and Louisville gets on the board first here in set number 2.
And I think the set break for Louisville was probably just, hey, settle in, play our game. Marquette played a very clean first set. Louisville has to add some service pressure and step up their blocking.
There's Radiff, the grad student trained from Santa Clara. Tom Mendoza was really impressed with the experience she brought, but this is her first time playing in the NCAA tournament, so this is still new to her too.
She did not show any nerves last night. She was super efficient.
That one just dies right in front of Studer as Blackshear gets another kill.
And Louisville wants to get Blackshear going. She is that freshman of the year ACC. She is that offensive weapon that only had 1 kill in that first set.
She's had 15 or more 5 times this year. Peterson stuffed. Cressy able to sneak it in.
And such a heads-up play here by Cressy. Most middles, when this ball rebounds back, would just play this ball straight ahead. There was a block there. She moved the ball really well.
And that one carried out of bounds off of Cressy.
And Radiff with another kill from the right side for Marquette.
And look at that. You get the kill, you get a serve.
Doesn't always work like that, but it's fun when it does.
So beautiful when it does. And off the hands of Marquette, Louisville grows their lead, doubling up Marquette here early. Cards trying to get some momentum. They were just overwhelming of Loyola. Once again, you get a kill, you get a serve. It's not a rule, but
it is right now.
Looks like it. Looks like it.
For set 2, it is.
3 ball for Louisville. And standing tall, Ring, Bray, impenetrable.
We have talked about Natalie Ring's offense, but she really does it all for the Golden Eagles. She serve receives, she plays defense, she swings from every spot on the court, and here she comes through with a huge block on the Kara Cressy slide. And she gets to serve.
She gets to serve, I'm telling you. It'll be a new thing. Studer. The freshman denied. Cabello fired up.
We have definitely seen a pickup in blocking from both sides. Many more touches as the rallies go on, and last 2 rallies have both ended with blocks to score points.
Here's Kara Cressy.
And you see the emotion from both sides right now too. I think it's sinking in that this is it. This is the tournament, and the winner moves on.
It almost felt like maybe it took that reality check of a first set for Louisville to get engaged, because Marquette came out firing as the Shermanator gets a kill right down the middle.
Yeah, and Marquette was the underdog last night, so they knew they had to come to play, and they really put it on a WKU squad. They've already kind of had that challenge and had to rise to the occasion. Louisville really didn't in the Loyola Chicago match, so you're right. Maybe it took that set for them to kind of get like, hey, it's tournament time.
A point though for Marquette. Hattie Bray, so strong in the middle.
Hattie Bray seems to know it's tournament time. We talked about leaving that hole for Chicoine not being an option. Hattie Bray went over there, closed the hole with her right hand.
Back row thrash from Chicoine.
Great hustle play from Louisville to put that ball up to be hittable. Chicoine gets her feet all the way to the middle of the court and takes a really unscripted type swing, not something you practice, but she's just a player.
Yeah, she revved up for that. Down the ring, Stonewall by Sherman. We said it earlier that sometimes you forget about Hannah Sherman with all the other great players on Louisville, but Ring won't.
And you see the reactions and the emotion. You said it just a little bit ago. Louisville has realized the gravity of this situation.
Haggard looks outside, kept alive by Peterson. Chicoine, the woman of the match thus far for Louisville, her 9th kill.
Chicoine up on this ball, coming from Cabello's behind the 10-foot line behind her. But again, any hole in that block and Chicoine capitalizes.
Showed this and it was a 0 there. Now it's increased an infinite percent to 2, but not all the blocks are showing up.
Yeah, not every block goes straight down and shows up on the stat sheet. Louisville has come out in this second set and stuck to what they are known for, their blocking and defense, and their offense builds from that. Kind of like basketball being in transition. If you get that steal, it leads to offense. Louisville is right there. Sherman adding to the blocking, Cressy adding to the blocking, Cabello, the setter, even getting in on the blocking. All of those touches add up to really propel Louisville forward.
It's the biggest lead of the night for the Cards. Peterson, Chicoine, unstoppable tonight. Check this out. Look at the difference between the first round and tonight. Big drop off. Louisville, though, rising.
Honestly, every hitting percentage on that screen is still pretty impressive for a full team hitting percentage.
Well, Tom Mendoza liked it.
We might have a challenge
Dan
here.
Meskey very quickly reached for the card. The referees in red in the bleachers, they definitely didn't see it the same way as the ones in blue.
However, the Marquette crowd is also right over there.
Louisville is challenging that the ball was in.
Crucial for Marquette here too, because this is an opportunity for them to stop that Louisville run while Louisville's looking to just soar away.
And here we'll see hard angle there, because it's definitely close.
Oh, it's really close. It looked, to the naked eye, from where we're at, it looked in. But I think we had a bunch of lion eyes here in L&N Arena.
The crowd is wild. We have people all over our shoulders trying to see our monitor. You can tell that this second set, there's a lot at stake. You can just feel it in the arena.
And Louisville not used to losing or even falling behind here
After
at
review,
L&N Arena.
The call will be reversed, ball in. Louisville will retain their challenge.
So an ace for Louisville. Louisville keeping their challenge too. You see 2 remaining for both. So Cabello will serve. The ball was called out initially and reversed to in. And so Louisville's lead grows. Natalie Ring has been who Marquette goes to stop the bleeding, but Chacoin is on the other side of the net, and she's got 11 kills.
We haven't seen a lot of anything off system tonight. I think we saw one tip from Ring, first roll shot from Chacoin, but so smart as a veteran player when there's this level of emotion and back and forth and power swings to drop in that off-speed shot.
And there's a thunderous thwack from Emma Parks on the outside, the freshman, off that career-high performance a night ago.
Parks has been impressive. It's fun to watch a freshman grow up in the tournament. What a better stage to grow up on.
She grew up in a volleyball family too. Her sister plays at Mercyhurst. And wag of the finger by Kira Schmidt, one of those freshmen. We've had 4 freshmen playing significant minutes for Marquette. Kira Schmidt, the native of Minnesota, one of them.
Chacoin again elevating up over the block and then just goes with that throw straight down to the middle of the court where she sees some daylight.
She just hangs in the air too, almost floating. And as is the trend this set, do something important, you get a serve. Cabello, hammered down the middle by Sherman.
Sherman isn't always an offensive weapon for the Cardinals, but she's up quick in transition. Cabello finds her, and she is able to work around the single block of Schmidt.
Known much more for her defense. She's one of the best blockers in the country. And an answer from Radiff.
Radiff is like the silent killer on the right side, getting her 5th kill there and hitting over 600, over 700.
Well, she doesn't do much smack talking. She doesn't chatter that much. You see her communicating now, but she doesn't talk up her game all that often, but she's playing loud.
And I think with Ring and Bray and then now Parks stepping up, she doesn't even end up on the scouting report for most teams, but she's able to capitalize on that.
Point to Louisville, and that's to your point we talked about in the open, where both of these teams, when they're thriving, it's the multiple players involved. It's not just one standout. There's plenty of options for the teams to attack you with.
And that's how both of these teams are successful. We've talked about stars, but truly neither of them has just a ABCA Player of the Year candidate or any star like that. They really do it as a team.
Chloe Chacoin, a dozen kills to lead the way for both teams. Coming up huge for Louisville.
And she has made a difference for the Cardinals since transferring in this year. We see all swings here from all aspects. Around the court, she flies, but she also plays defense and left back and kind of takes that libero role when she's in the back row. She serve receives every single rotation for this squad and steps up. You can see her there in the huddle as a leader, even as a newcomer to the squad, has been very vocal for the Cardinals this season.
Yeah, last night she was outstanding. Tonight, even better. Chloe Chacoin. You know, everyone cheering on Louisville here. Everyone fired up this second set. Even Louis Cardinal got a lot to cheer about.
This is one of the best volleyball venues in the country. It's so intimate. The crowd is right on the court. We saw them getting involved with a challenge earlier tonight, and this place is hopping.
Yeah, I can also say someone was hopping when the Louis Cardinal was on the screen. It was my 2-year-old little girl back at home.
Love a good mascot.
So do these spectators. And this is the offense, defense, both sides of the net dominance we saw from Louisville last night against Loyola.
Definitely, and again, it picked up when Louisville's defense picked up, and not to the point I was gonna make, but their service pressure has picked up. And even that, you'll take some missed serves if it's helping keep the Marquette offense off balance.
Here's Studer. And a little miscommunication between two stalwarts for Marquette. Bray catching ring.
Yeah, a miscommunication here on the overpass, and I think possibly Ring caught an elbow to the chest.
That won't sting. She's tough, though.
Yeah, I doubt she's going anywhere.
Hannah Kenny. Her sister and mom watching. Peterson powers that one into the bleachers.
We saw here again Schrand on this dig. It goes right to Cabello's hands, and she's able to shoot that ball so fast out to Peterson.
Stuffed by Crazy. Stuffed by Cabello. Cressy!
And Louisville is really picking up the defense. They are hustling after each ball, taking advantage of balls, and being able to use every weapon on offense.
That time, Marquette gets an answer, but they're way underwater here in the second set. If anyone's going to steady the ship, it'll be Hattie Bray.
And kind of interesting stat-wise, Marquette's still hitting .350 and doing a great job offensively, but this Louisville lead continues to grow.
It's overwhelming by Louisville. It feels like there's almost 7 players back there on defense, the way Louisville's been defending.
And that's their go-to. That's what was missing for Louisville in the first set.
Look at that. Here's the second set hit percentage. Louisville soaring.
But again, that Louisville hitting percentage has been a result of their ability to pick balls up in transition and really run a transition offense.
And Kara Cressy.
Her dad is excited in the crowd.
She was just levitating.
That ball is high and goes straight down. Those are the fun ones as a middle blocker. You work really hard side to side the whole game, and when one comes right to you and you can put it away, it feels good.
There's Kara Cressy's proud father, who's been, the journey she's been on. She was with Team USA in the U23 Pan Am Games, winning gold with Chacoin on that team as well. Speaking of which, Chacoin again. The 2 stars entering this year, the 3 stars entering this year for Louisville, Cabello, Chacoin, Cressy, all just outstanding here in the second set. Cabello tried to snap it around, tucked in the middle by Sherman.
And Louisville has done a great job in this set, taking care of everything scrappy. They haven't let tips fall. They haven't lost a battle at the net, and that has made a difference.
You know, she earned her starting spot by the blocking, but she's just improved as the year's gone on the offensive end. Hattie Bray will serve. There's Sherman. 8-2 on the service errors. Sherman again. Set point for Louisville. All the seats are open because they're all standing here in L&N Arena. Marquette took set number 1, but Louisville, flexing their muscles, powers through set number 2.
Hannah Sherman with the stuff block as Louisville takes set 2. We're tied 1-1 in Louisville.
Volleyball championship coverage continues with the regional semifinals beginning Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home of all NCAA championships. Isabella Haggard at Dunbar High School in Lexington. She won a couple championships there, some trophies during her high school career, and her parents made the journey across the state from Lexington to Louisville. There's Janice Haggard wearing the very fitting styled shirt.
I love it. I love the support for her daughter. Fun to be able to bring some family, bring some friends to see her daughter play. And Haggard has just done such a great job. She is the freshman here, playing in front of her family and running this dynamic offense, getting all of her hitters involved.
You know, earlier this year, she was interviewed by one of the student journalists at Marquette. Novelty having a Kentuckian up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They asked her if she'd ever been to the Kentucky Derby, and she said she had, but she also used to go to a different horse track in her backyard, and that horse track was Keeneland, which for those in Wisconsin, if you just refer to Keeneland as another horse track, that'd be like saying that Door County is just a little stroll in the woods. And there's Isabella Haggard, who's been playing great. Setting up Natalie Ring. 7 kills for Natalie Ring so far. The outside hitter has been a force for Marquette.
And she has been able to score in lots of different ways tonight. The difference in that second set is Louisville's defense was able to slow down Ring, use their defense to run transition. Chloe Chacoin was the recipient of a lot of those quick balls to the pin in transition. And when she gets a fastball and sees any hole in the block, she can score.
Yeah, think about that. Ring's impact, 7 kills, pretty good. Chacoin doubled it up. Just outstanding.
And again, you see her talking in the huddle here, leading her team. Definitely wanting a repeat of set 2 out of her team, but that started with the energy and emotion of the Cardinals going into set 2. We saw a different team come off the bench and start that set right away.
I mean, you can almost, the third set, so pivotal always, but for Marquette to just slow down the momentum that Louisville built up, and it feels like they're in danger of being capsized if Louisville can continue playing their game.
Well, and Marquette was able to come into set 1 just right off of their energy from last night and just really be ready to play. And we saw that hitting percentage number at 429 for them, just continuing yesterday. Louisville got into their rhythm, into their game, and was able to use their defense to slow down Marquette in the second.
Speaking of which, Blackshear repelling Ring.
I think the ball landed out of bounds.
Yeah, correct. So another kill for Ring.
But again, Louisville is okay with that because just getting those touches on the block is what they want to start feeling as a blocking team.
Blackshear stuffed by Ring. So it's Natalie Ring who's coming out with a fire.
And Ring and Bray double teamed to that block. That's what you want from your 2 stars, your 2 veterans, as you come out in this pivotal third set.
Another block. Marquette and the Golden Eagles soaring to begin set 3.
Radif and Bray. Radif all over this. Cabello only has one option. Radif is there and finishes back to the inside.
A little overzealous on that serve by Studer, trying to hit that back zone. And now Louisville getting the chance to answer after Marquette rattled off 3 points in a row.
But I would expect both teams to be very aggressive serving for the rest of this match as a weapon to try to slow down these offenses.
And Hannah Kenny's serve really can pop, as Dan Meskey talked about. Good catch by a spectator.
And that's a dig that Camden Strand wants back. It was a little off speed from Bray, and Strand was able to touch it, just not keep it in play.
An ace from Marquette. All Golden Eagles here in set number 3. By ace, by block, by kill. Marquette up 4. Where everyone wants to go right before Christmas. Semifinals and the championship for women's volleyball in Kansas City. And you can catch it all on ESPN. Louisville was there a year ago when they hosted it very far away in the Derby City. Trying to get back to Kansas City, but Marquette has had a few things to say about it here in the third. Bray's effort was altered. Cabello looking for Cressy, denied. Ring. Cressy can't catch up with it. Marquette soaring again.
And great effort here on both sides. But Marquette just doesn't have a quit bone in their body. We talked to Coach Mendoza earlier this week, and he said the expectation for this team going into the weekend was play hard and earn it. And they are showing that here tonight.
And right down meridian goes Haggard.
Haggard had an opportunity like that earlier in set one. We said, yes, you have to stay aggressive, even though that one was an error. Here, perfect transition for her, almost like she ran her own slide.
Now Bella Haggard, co-freshman of the year in the Big East, also on the All Big East team. And it's all Big East here in Louisville right now. There's Bella Haggard's mom.
She has a lot to be jumping and cheering for right now. Her daughter, as a freshman, is shining tonight.
Yeah, she and half the population of Milwaukee. And that time, Louisville finally gets an answer from their stalwart Cressy.
Louisville has a long way to dig themselves back in this set, but for Louisville, it's going to start with blocking. They are not out-blocked often. Marquette out-blocking them right now 7-4, and blocking is what brought them back in the second set.
Sophomore Peyton Peterson served it up. Ring tried to knock it down. Right back to Marquette. And too much by Hattie Bray. Zoomed it by Peterson.
Peyton Peterson had two fantastic digs during that rally, but Louisville was not able to turn them into offense. While on the flip side, Marquette was able to take some free balls, some good touches, and turn them into great swings. Great court vision from Haggard to find Bray not once, but twice during that rally.
Marquette served up their own free ball that time. As Louisville letting the serve just go by, we'll get a little haircut here. Molly Urban in, one of the several, almost a half dozen natives of Indiana on the roster. South of Indianapolis and Martinsville.
And Louisville going with a more defensive option here with Molly Urban instead of Kara Cressy, but what they don't want out of that substitution is a missed serve.
They've had a couple of issues with that. It was they brought in the serving specialist or come in for a key serve, and just a little too much oomph trying to hit that back zone. Demeski trying to figure out Marquette. Chicoine. She's had the answer all night long, till 15.
This is a tough ball. Cabello on the run just puts that ball high to Chicoine. She's able to rotate and go line, which is a really tough swing.
That was right at Bray, too. It was a tough ball to judge. Hit just right at her. She thought it was going to go long. Cabello. Finds Chicoine. And a back row blast from Ring. Chicoine. Chicoine.
Wow, that's all we can say about that whole rally. Huge swings from Chicoine and Ring in this rally. Defense, people sacrificing their bodies. Chicoine keeps the first one in play, and then a touch on the block leads to the perfect dig, and Chicoine finishes.
Cabello almost knocked over, kept that rally alive. And that time, self-preservation by Cabello. Too much Emma Parks. Happy to have everybody here joining from around the country. I'm Jonathan Mathis alongside Steph Cantway. And we have a thriller on here in the third set as Marquette, who took the first set, is rallying and looking great here in the third.
It has been an offensive battle. Serve receive has been fantastic. These offenses are firing on all cylinders.
Louisville swept Loyola Chicago. That was expected. Marquette swept WKU. That was not. And Marquette has been up for the challenge here in an excellent second round matchup. Chicoine has been great. Cabello, all conference, Blackshear. Chicoine looking for Blackshear. And Louisville's on the march.
Blackshear's been quiet for Louisville since the first set. I love them going to her twice in that rally. They need more hitters than Chicoine to come alive if they're going to make the comeback in this set and the match.
Well, Calissa Blackshear, second team All-ACC, the freshman of the year in the ACC. They need her to step up.
Great dig from Chicoine.
Finds Peterson. Was that off Marquette? It was.
Credit to Peterson on that play. This is not a great set from Cabello. Super fast out to the pin, but able to get the touch off the block.
And Chicoine has matched her career high in kills with 17, and we're barely halfway through a feverish L&N arena.
She has been such a leader tonight. Look at all of these shots. If there's a hole in the block, Chicoine finds it. If there's not, she's going line, going high hands. We saw a couple tips down to the middle of the court from high over the block. And then it's the other things that she brings to the game. Serve receiving in every rotation. We just saw a huge dig from her out of left back when she's back row. And we also saw an assist on that last ball to Blackshear.
Chloe Chicoine became the 27th Cardinal to get 1,000 kills. That's helping Louisville in this situation. Louisville and Marquette get the winner of the couple Texas schools, the Aggies and the Horned Frogs. Both Louisville and Marquette and Texas A&M Tech TCU are former conference foes with each other. So fun to see these inter-squad matchups. Kansas already in the regional semifinal. Nebraska holds the keys. Whether the regional semifinal will be in Lincoln or here in Louisville, Nebraska and Kansas State will serve it up at 8 p.m.
And the matchup will be fun between Danny Busboom Kelly at Nebraska and potentially if Louisville does go to Nebraska. But right now, Louisville has their work cut out for them. This Marquette squad has had the motto right now of play hard and earn it, and they are trying to keep Louisville from putting another banner on that wall.
And those two banners, though, that's courtesy of Danny Busboom Kelly, who, when she moved on to Nebraska, paved way for Dan Meskey to slide over on the bench to take over the Cards. He said it wasn't that different initially. As the season's gone on, team might have changed a little bit. There's the power of Natalie Ring.
No surprise that Marquette comes out of a timeout and finds Natalie Ring. She's not in the front row. It doesn't matter. She comes flying out of the pipe.
It took the breath out of the entire arena.
The noise alone. She hits the ball well.
Mari King. Cabello with options. Goes to Peterson to the second deck.
And key what you said there, Cabello with options. Both squads have had such quality serve receive. Look for maybe some more risks from the serving. We have had some service errors, 9 for Louisville and only 4 for Marquette. Maybe Marquette picks up their service pressure just a little bit if this set starts to get tighter.
I'll tell you, Dan Meskey's side, they have definitely been taking their chances.
And Louisville goes with a short serve there.
Blackshear not able to keep that alive. Why did they go to the short serve that time?
It's a different way to be aggressive in serve receive. If a squad's passing really well, you can serve short, get in the way. Where that serve was located kept Bray from being able to run a slide, but Radiff right there to score on a tip.
Radeth again, the transfer from Santa Clara, brings a lot of experience with her from the West Coast as Cressy hammers it in. Kara Cressy, first team All-ACC, one of the best blockers in the country, 10th in overall total blocks, 16th in blocks per set. Hannah Kenny. And Cressy again, back-to-back points, authored by the grad student.
And this is a judgment call from the officiating crew. If that ball is all the way over and it's Kara Cressy's ball, she gets to swing at it and Haggard can't touch it. She's in the back row.
There's Haggard, Kentucky native. Looks up the middle to Hattie Bray.
Great dig from Cam Strand. Great dig from Studer.
Digging all over the place. And then it is, as usual, Natalie Ring.
Defense is not what we've seen so far in this match. Lots of quick side outs early in set one. The pressure is rising. The rallies are prolonging. Everyone is throwing their body at the ball right now.
Only 3 points separating these two teams. Their 34th meeting in program histories. And a rollover from Ring.
Ring, again, has such good footwork. She takes a huge approach here, and everybody expects to hear another one of those bombs from the outside, but she takes something off of it and drops it right on the Cardinal.
She's just so good at bearing her tempo. Peterson, full force.
Sometimes you don't need to vary the tempo. Like to see Peterson being aggressive and taking swings from the outside when she has the opportunity.
Well, Peterson is not unaccustomed to playing in these tournaments. She had 3 aces. She played great in the title game a year ago. Chacoin.
We've seen a couple of net violations from the Marquette block when Chacoin takes a swing. You mentioned it early, she hangs up in that air for so long that the block really needs to adjust their timing and make sure that they're not jumping when she jumps, because then they're already landing while she's still hanging up there.
Free ball for Marquette, stuffed by Cabello. And then a net violation on Louisville.
Net violation, Cabello there. You saw her cover a lot of ground back and forth against the net, and she wanted to get hands on that last swing from Natalie Ring. Took a risk, ended up in the net.
It's Cabello, the sophomore, one of the best setters in the country. Natalie Ring, one of the best power hitters in the country.
Great dig there from Ring 2. Marquette just unable to contain the ball on the hustle. Marquette has not relented this lead through the middle of this set.
Louisville's been on the march, though. Right now, just down 2. They started as calm in the water as you could. They were way behind early. Down 6-1. Cabello, the changeup. Finds Ring. Chacoin!
Cabello earned that during that set. Her first dump reminded Marquette that she is an aggressive setter. And then on this last ball, when she's flying in there, Bray has to pay attention to her or she can score. Opens things up for Chacoin on the outside.
Cressy to serve. Into the net.
It's been that same serving position for Louisville. It has been killer. We've seen Cressy with a couple misses. Molly Wilson came in that same spot, and so did Molly Urban.
That's 10 service errors by Louisville. Chacoin, rinse and repeat. 20 kills for Chloe Chacoin.
just continuing to add to her career high. And again, we are just past the halfway point in set 3, and we know we're playing at least 4.
Yeah, season high for Chloe Chacoin. She had 27 as a freshman. And a stuff from Sherman. Point to Marquette. And Marquette is just clinging to that lead. Louisville trying to just yank it away, and Marquette won't let them. And here's the Kentuckian. Isabella Haggard played her club volleyball in Louisville. Sent it long.
And interesting, both of these squads are dependent on some youngsters that this is probably the biggest stage in NCAAs that they have played on.
And how fitting, as Louisville looking to continue their rally. That is Chacoin serves. And the answer by Radiff.
And Radiff, again, just kind of flying under the radar, runs a 2-ball here. Was not the first option out of serve receive, but she is quick and she elevates.
A skyscraper of a swing by Radiff. Every time it feels like Ellen Arena is about to explode, Marquette with an answer. Elena Radiff, the native of Menlo Park, California, provided that one. From coast to coast, a Floridian serves. Blackshear, just enough.
And Louisville desperately wants to get Calissa Blackshear going in the offense. Look for them to try to use her to take over the lead here.
Dan Meskey said she's one of the most athletic players he's ever coached.
Great save from Haggard.
Marquette just keeps it alive, and then Cressy ties it up.
We talked to Coach Meskey about Cabello earlier, and he said she has the green light in decision making. I think everyone in this crowd thought that last ball was going to Blackshear, but she finds Cressy.
Another answer by Marquette. Welcome back, everybody, on ESPNU, watching around the country. Alongside Stephanie Cantway, I'm Jonathan Mathis. We have a thriller here in Louisville. Cressy. Natalie Ring.
Great touch from Calissa Blackshear, but was not enough to slow down Ring. She has been fantastic.
Natalie Ring and Marquette have been able to weather every storm Louisville's buffeted against them.
And Ring against a single block gets the kill.
Blackshear. That one caught King high.
Chacoin puts the ball right on Cabello's head.
Free ball for Marquette. Peterson. Ring. Was it touched? Yes.
Ring knew exactly what she was doing on that play. Ball came from deep in the court. Tough ball visually, but she knows she has the huge block of Blackshear and Cressy.
So that smile on Tom Mendoza's face. He and Natalie Ring have been stalwarts for Marquette. They had a big lead early in this set. Louisville's been charging, but Natalie Ring has risen to the challenge.
And Natalie Ring has come to play. Every ball, she is available as a hitter. Front row, back row, in system, out of system. She wants the ball, and she has put some of these youngsters, some of these freshmen on her back and just really taken the reins tonight.
38 kills between Natalie Ring and Chloe Chacoin, both starring here in the second round. Marquette, though, with that lead here, they took the first set, applied some pressure to Louisville. Louisville thunderously responded in the second, and now here it is in the third. Marquette leading again. They got to soak it in after this one. This one has all the makings of a classic here between these two teams.
We may be here for a while, but this third set has been more what I think we expected to see. A lot longer rallies, a lot more back and forth, some defense here. Things are so even here after the third set, after kind of seeing those swings in the first and second set, specifically based on hitting percentage.
Yeah, Louisville, unbelievable in the second, back down to earth in the third. Blackshear, an answer. And Calissa Blackshear, the freshman from California. That's one of the players that she jogs off. If they can get her going, what a difference maker she can be.
And Blackshear comes out of the game now, which means that Cabello's front row, and Louisville has two hitting options front row, Peterson and Cressy. Look for Cressy to go behind the setter on that slide to move things around a bit.
Haggard looks for a ring, repelled by Cressy. Overpass to Louisville. And the point to the Cards. Only down one as we're in the home stretch of this third set. And Hannah Kenny, as we'll go to a review.
Marquette is challenging a net fault during the play.
There's Tom Mendoza issuing the challenge in his first year with Marquette, most recently at South Carolina.
And I think here Cabello has to be clean all the way through this landing. Does look like she is. You do see the net wiggling just a little bit though.
Quick call.
After review, the call is confirmed. No net. Marquette will lose the challenge.
Welcoming everybody on ESPNU back to the Derby City, where we're racing down the stretch of set number 3. Alongside Stephanie Cantway, I'm Jonathan Mathis. And what has been a wonderful second round matchup. The emotions only heating up. Adjustment by Bray, the fastball by Bray. Peterson. Free ball for Louisville. Cressy!
And the unsung hero of that play is Hannah Kenny. 2 great digs, 2 hustle plays, 1 on a clean net for Bray. She was able to get a touch there, then puts this free ball perfectly on Cabello's head, makes that block second guess, and Cressy finishes on the slide.
Hannah Kenny, her sister Callie, plays for Marquette, her mom in attendance.
Great hustle from Ring.
Cressy again. Kara Cressy, too much here in the third. And Louisville finally takes the lead. That's her father in the hoodie.
Cressy on that slide gets a touch on the block as she goes through the hole. Again, the difference for Louisville in some of these rallies is when they are able to take a dig, rely on their defense, put it on Cressy's head, their offense is super fast from pin to pin.
You can see what the Indy Ignite saw in her when they made her a 5th overall draft pick, where she'll join a couple of Louisville teammates in Indianapolis after the year's over. Hannah Cressy, or Kara Cressy, who's from Indiana, homecoming just up the road, up by 65. And she's been outstanding her entire career, gets the first team all-conference performer, and was on the Team USA U23 Pan Am games where they won the gold medal. There's the draft picks thus far. Hattie Berry going to Grand Rapids, Kara Cressy to Indianapolis.
And both making a difference tonight out of the middle. We talk about how blocks have kind of been up and down here, but it's really those touches throughout this set that have been so important from the block on both sides, and that starts with Hattie Bray and Kara Cressy.
And those nicknames awfully fitting, because Hattie Bray has risen defensively and offensively for Marquette, but it's been Cressy who's ignited this rally for Louisville. First lead of the set.
Marquette has been so solid in serve receive this whole match. The last 2 have been a little shaky off the serve of Hannah Kenny.
Hannah Kenny continues to serve. The freshman from Chicagoland.
Marquette has 3 weapons in the front row.
To scramble to ring. Cressy. Haggard to ring. Stuffed again. But out of bounds.
That Cressy just wasn't quite able to turn back to the middle on that ball. Great swing from Ring.
And Natalie Ring, who came up huge in the opening round, upset against Western Kentucky. A net violation on Cabello.
Cabello got a bit spun around there. She knew the ball was tight and she needed to make a play on it, but when it's coming from behind her, it's a tough ball to track down.
Set point.
Suter with another dig.
And that one off Cressy. Marquette. They swept Western Kentucky, and they take a 2-set lead to the 4th against the favored Louisville Cardinals. Their crowd might be small but mighty, and they've had a lot to cheer about. The defense, the powerful swings from both sides. Marquette leads 2-1. Number 4, it's a best of 5. Marquette leads in an upset bid. And while home court advantage so key in the postseason, Louisville has won here at L&N Arena. They've won 87% of the time, but look at this. Their 5 losses here. They don't lose often, but they've lost 3 times this year in L&N Arena.
And they've been big matches. You see all of those being top 10 matchups. Here tonight, we're in a match where the loser goes home, their season's over, and the winner advances.
And all those losses, or at least the last 4, have been in the top 8. And Marquette, now these 2 teams used to play when they were in the Conference USA, and they played a lot, very frequently. But the last time these teams met was a long time ago, back in 2013. That's 12 years, and Marquette swept Louisville in the NCAA tournament. And Tom Mendoza can't get a sweep here, but he can get the upset victory. And when we were talking earlier this week, where his goal is just, we're going to come in, we don't have expectations, we're going to play hard. Well, it's working for him.
And he claimed earlier in the week that they hadn't even watched film yet on Louisville, that they were sticking to Western Kentucky and then taking one match at a time. But when you have a team that just comes to play this hard, and you have swings like Ring and Parks and all the weapons that they're getting tonight, and you can put that together, you don't necessarily need a great scouting report. You just gotta let them go.
Cabello, back row attack from Peterson. What do you think, Steph, when you played in games like this, what's it like if you're the team either favored who's trying to chase or the underdog? What's it like being in this type of matchup?
I think it's more fun in some ways to be the underdog because you can play free. Marquette is just going out to battle on every point, and we're seeing it tonight.
Just in.
Louisville needed that out of that specific serve rotation. They have tried 3 different people in this rotation. Kara Cressy steps up.
That one has not really worked for him yet, and Cressy has been in and out of the serve rotation in this spot. Gets a couple in. And that time, for the first time it seems tonight, Chacoin denied by Schmidt, the freshman.
Schmidt had a few huge plays down the stretch late in the match against Western Kentucky yesterday. She seems to be someone that steps up as she figures out what's going on and kind of develops her own scouting reports.
Chacoin. And that time, Haggard not able to find Radif. The setters have been so outstanding tonight. That's a rare miss.
I love her taking risks, though, especially early in the set. Really move that ball around, throw that ball back while you're running forward. It was a well-timed risk on Haggard's part.
Haggard back in the Commonwealth, the native of Lexington, Kentucky. Hammered down by Chacoin.
And one thing that'll be interesting to watch here is Louisville's serving strategy. They have put a lot of balls on Studer, the libero for Marquette tonight, but now early in this set, we've seen them start to serve ring. We saw a ball go to Radiff earlier trying to short serve. Pay attention to how Louisville is trying to challenge the Marquette serve receive.
She goes after Mari King. Haggard. Blackshear, was it long? It was not. And Tom Mendoza needs a timeout. Marquette started off hot in the third set. Loyola comes screaming into the fourth and lead 5-1. The Grinch is in the house. Be wary. Oh, no, it's just a boy. Got me there for a second.
It's not Christmas season yet. It's volleyball season at the beginning of December.
We're still in volleyball season.
Great receive from King.
Natalie Ring for the 20th time with the kill. Feels like anytime Louisville has something going, it's Natalie Ring.
She has been the weapon, but it starts with that serve receive.
Too much for Mari King to handle. The all-time leader in Florida high school history in kills. She almost had 2,300 of them. Got mowed down that time. Chacoin to serve.
And Blackshear's back in for Louisville here. I really think Louisville needs to get her going if they're going to take this to 5.
We go to Hattie Bray. Just the two old reliables for Marquette. There's Appy checking it out. If it's not Natalie Ring, it's Hattie Bray.
And Bray's just been so consistent. She stays available as a middle.
Service error, a rare one for Marquette. That's their 6th of the evening. Louisville stabilized their serving here in the 4th set. They've been at 10 since midway through the 3rd. Bray, Tran, Cabello, outside, Blackshear. Too much for Ring and a souvenir.
And I love Cabello going to Blackshear on that ball. Everything was set up perfectly, even against a great double block by Marquette. Blackshear able to find the floor.
Haggard finds Bray, and Hattie Bray comes through, the 3-team All-Big East performer. She came back for Marquette, believed in the message of Tom Mendoza. Natalie Ring bought in too, and look where Marquette's at, leading in set number 4, leading overall, but trailing in set 4. And there's Cressy.
Good court vision here by Cabello. Again, we want her to get to Blackshear, but you see Park starting to leave early on that block. Cabello recognizes that, gets the ball fast to Cressy.
You know, Dan Meske, he shared on social media just a video of Cabello working on those reverse sets, but just her whole tool bag is full.
And we talked about Haggard taking some risks. Cabello also likes to take those risks. 2 young, athletic setters that are fun to watch and will be fun to watch as they even get older and take bigger leadership roles for both of these squads.
Yeah, Haggard trying to get Marquette to where Cabello took Louisville a year ago, deep in the NCAA tournament.
Smart shot from Parks, just goes off the hands and out of bounds.
Just mentioned that the youth of Marquette. We've talked about the seniors, the super seniors, but 4 freshmen have played huge minutes for Marquette this year, including Emma Parks.
It's really the tale of both sides. You've got Ring, you've got Bray, and then you've got Studer carrying huge loads, and then everything else filled in by the freshman stars.
And Marquette got him in just extremes. Seniors, freshmen. And it's working for the Golden Eagles. Peyton Peterson. And a miss hit though by Parks.
And again, you see on that serve receive, Louisville makes Ring pass the ball, and not just pass the ball, but also go to the floor. That takes her out as a hitting weapon for Marquette.
Go right at Parks. Marquette goes to Parks too. Emma Parks, threaded the needle. And Emma Parks, they weren't sure how big a role she would have this year. They thought about redshirting her. They ended up having to burn it, and she had to step in place of the injured Ella Holmstrom. And she's been playing great since then.
But career high last night, maybe on her way there tonight as well.
Chicoine. Again with Chicoine.
Radiff with a solid block set up here, doesn't leave just a ton of line, but Chicoine able to find it. Actually, more line than I thought that she left. Chicoine comes inside and is able to finish.
Yeah, Chicoine's just in the zone today.
She is.
Radiff dug out by her numerical counterpart. And then Radiff and Schmidt stand tall.
Louisville needs to pick up this ball on the cover. Chicoine goes into this block, but the way she does it is high hands and kind of with some spin, expects her teammates behind her to cover and recycle that ball.
Cabello looks for Chicoine.
Great ball from Studer.
And another nice setup by Haggard to Bray.
Studer put that ball right on Haggard's head, gave her all of the options. And we talked about Bray always finds a way to be up. That's a hard transition. She's coming from the left side, kind of backwards on her approach, but finds a way to be up and speak to her setter.
Adriana Studer, one of the natives of Wisconsin on Marquette, put that one into the net. Cardinals maintaining that 6-point lead. Cabello. Bray that time denied by Sherman. Ring. Is that a Blackshear? It was. You know, Louisville's got that height advantage, but you get an accurate hitter like Ring, you just aim for the hands.
And Ring, we talked about how well she touches the ball, how loud that ball comes off her hand. That also gives her a lot of control on where she's putting the ball. If you're touching that ball with your entire hand, you have a lot of control over where it goes.
Like that time, off the wrist of Blackshear.
And so intentional with every shot from Natalie Ring.
We showed earlier the growth she's had during her career and just on a rocket ship since the end of last year. And Marquette is on a roll. They're only down 3.
And you can feel the comeback here. You saw Louisville's crowd stand up a second ago, try to get back into it after these couple plays off the block. Marquette's crowd is the one standing because Marquette is doing all the right things. Louisville needs a good serve receive pass here.
Chased down by Studer. And Sherman rises.
But again, we talk about Marquette doing all the right things. That was a hard ball to take a swing on. I love that Ring still took a swing. She's showing all these freshmen that she's surrounded by that we're here to be aggressive, and we're not gonna let this happen to us. We're here to take it. We see Reese Robbins enter the game for Louisville. That's not a boo from the crowd, that's a Reese.
A block by Sherman. Now they're just cheering.
And that's what makes Sherman such a technically great blocker. She watched from the bench for a few plays that Marquette is trying to go off the block, so she purposefully finishes her hands back into the court as that ball touches the block.
Ooh, likes Reese Robbins on the right or the left. That time not able to secure the block. As Marquette trims it to 4. Peterson blocked. Cabello. Peterson again. And that is off of Marquette. Louisville with a 5-point lead. Right now they've been weathering the storm from the Golden Eagles of Marquette. That was a great swing by Parks. Emma Parks having a good follow-up effort from a night ago where she had a career-high performance. She's got 8 kills now.
She plays like a veteran. She just makes the right decisions in the moment.
Peterson keeping Marquette at arm's length away.
Louisville has to continue to focus on their passing and defense. When they are in system on serve receive and when they are making those hustle plays that give them multiple options on defense, they are winning those rallies down the stretch.
Welcome back our ESPNU audience. Alongside Stephanie Campway, I'm Jonathan Mathis. Louisville's led this whole 4th set. Marquette leads the match overall, and Marquette's on the charge. The winner of this moves to the round of 16 and either faces the Aggies or the Horned Frogs. Timeout on the floor. But Louisville's been on the march, and they've been in this situation before, down 2-1.
Louisville fans remember last year, same type of situation against UNI, different venue down at the Young Center, but Louisville goes down 2-1, even gets behind in that 5th set, but a heroic comeback led by Cardinals superstar Anna DeBeer, had a performance much like Chloe Chacoin is having here tonight. Anna DeBeer in the crowd cheering on her cards. You think with that look on her face, she's remembering that feeling of being down in that UNI match?
You know who's right next to her though, or in the building too?
Was the coach of that UNI squad, was Bobby Peterson. Peyton Peterson's mom was the coach of that team. Can you imagine going against your daughter in a super tough 5-set match? Probably was okay ending up on the losing end of that when Louisville was able to weather that storm, really fight back in that 5th set in the 2nd round last year, and then take it all the way to the national finals.
Here's a question, what's more stressful for Bobby Peterson? Was it last year going up against Louisville, going the distance, or watching tonight in the bleachers?
I think as a coach, it's watching tonight here in the bleachers. When you're a coach, you're more worried about what people like Elena Scott and Anna DeBeer were doing on the court on the other side last year when you were playing against people like that. You still have to coach and focus. Right here, you have zero control over what's going on the court.
Yeah, Cardinal recent royalty in attendance. As Louisville trying to keep their season alive. Off to a great start here, most of the way through set number 4. Trying to force the 5th set. The freshman Parks denied.
And Louisville Louisville's blocking is something we've focused on. They've gotten a lot of touches this set, but haven't been able to get those kill blocks.
Here's Hannah Kenny. Parks, dug out by Kenny. Cabello, Peterson. Peterson off Avery Helms.
And Haggard took a gamble on that block, reached inside. Peterson saw an opening down that line and was able to finish. But what a rally on both sides.
Now Helms, who took that ball off the shin, she's not unaccustomed to digs. She's second all-time in the state of Missouri high school digs. Haggard takes care of it herself.
Freshman Haggard on what looked to be a bad ball that Marquette wasn't going to be able to handle, throws it down for the kill.
Crucial serves here for Marquette and Haggard. Haggard, back row by Ring. And Cressy denies.
Kara Cressy was all over that. Marquette had 3 hitters front row. That's a middle's nightmare by itself. And then look at Ring coming hard out of the back row. Cressy super disciplined, taking care of that back row attack.
4 blocks tonight for Kara Cressy.
Swing from Parks.
And then a whistle against Louisville.
So that's going to be a double contact there on Peyton Peterson because the ball went over the net. Had it stayed on her side, we don't call those double contacts anymore, but once it went over, that's a double contact.
Louisville earlier in the day had been struggling in blocks, and look at what they've swelled since then, close to last night.
And blocking is really the heart of this Louisville team. It changes everything for them. It feeds their defense, which in turn feeds their transition offense and enables them to speed things up, move that ball around, and that's really when this team is at their best.
And Dan Meske, as he said, feeding has been the key for Louisville. Nialise Cabello described the mood of the team as hungry, and they've been feasting, and Chacoin has been a big beneficiary. 26 kills tonight.
Fantastic play from Haggard. She ran into the sideline bench there, but was still able to get her hips around and put up a hittable ball. Marquette is not backing down at all, staying aggressive offensively.
Into the net, and it is set point as the yells will rise in the bleachers. Back row blast, that's a little wide. Marquette staying alive.
And I love the body language from Marquette here. They know that this is not the last set for them. They're okay with taking this 5 and want to find a little bit of rhythm because right now it has been all Louisville.
Well, the Kentuckian Bella Haggard gets the block. Marquette needs 6 more. And it's the transfer, Radeth taking the serves. Haggard. Ring found the hand of a Louisville Cardinal. And that's 3 in a row for Marquette here at the end of the 4th.
Ring is so dynamic. She spent a lot of time going off the outside of that block, that one off the inside of the block.
Set point number 4. Blackshear, that time too much, and Louisville's leveled it up.
Louisville has wanted to find Blackshear in offense, and here they did right at the end of the set. Set 4 was all Louisville. We are ready to play 5 behind the defense of the Louisville Cardinals, tied 2-2.
Louisville and Marquette, the Golden Eagles giving the Cardinals everything they could want and more. And we'll see as we go to the 5th set. Here's the summary thus far. All tied up. Your hit percentages. Blocks, Louisville's been rising since then. Natalie Ring, Chloe Chacoin have been outstanding.
It's going to come down to defense in this 5th set. Neither team phenomenal at a 5th set record this year. Lots of those have been top 10 matchups on both sides. Marquette's taken down some teams along the way. Louisville has battled in the ACC play in top 10 matchups. But all that matters is these 15 points here tonight to prolong your season.
Most likely a trip to Lincoln, Nebraska, the reward. That'll be decided later tonight for sure. Can Marquette get back there? Will the Cards? Hannah Kenny will start us off. And a point for Louisville.
Great set from Cabello. She was falling backwards all the way at the right pin and pushed this ball all the way out to the pin fast for Peterson. Transition has to be Louisville's game.
A block by Cressy. Louisville opens with a roar.
And you see leadership on both sides there. Right after that ball, Ring came down and she said, "That's my bad, we're okay." And Cressy just screams in the face of her teammates and gives them the firepower to finish this set.
Radiff was denied. They go back to Natalie Ring. Cressy got a hand on it. Ring reloads. Radiff again. Ring. Point to Louisville.
The ball here was called a lift. You can tell Mendoza does not love it. Ball stuck in King's hand just a little long. Normally in volleyball we call it a lift, but the true definition is prolonged contact.
And finally for Marquette, they get on the board here in the 5th. Studer will serve. It was in.
And Peyton Peterson has been semi-quiet here tonight. Hard to say that when she has 17 kills, but she's a person that steps up when the spotlight is big. Didn't get a lot of playing time last year until the national championship game. She knows what it's like to play under the spotlight.
Thrived as a sophomore. And a point to Louisville. All Cards right now in the 5th set. Natalie Ring lets out a roar.
She does not back down. If she goes down tonight, it's going to be swinging.
16 kills and every other stat a night ago against Western Kentucky. Marquette, that's back-to-back for the Golden Eagles. Here's what's at stake. The second consecutive season going to the regional semifinals. Louisville looking to go for the 5th time. One streak and will end this set. Haggard with the quick hands. Cressy, denied. No, is off ring.
There is
roars.
There is no lack of firepower and energy in this building right now.
12 kills tonight for Cressy. Not as high hit percentages, are astronomical 67. But a service error keeps Marquette within arm's reach. That's 11 service errors for Dan Meskey's crew.
As Ring goes back to serve here, that brings Parks in the front row for Marquette.
Big spot for the freshman Parks. And a point for the freshman Parks.
And Ring, again, finding ways to contribute. An ace there from the service line. We see Blackshear enter the game for Louisville in the back row. She'll be a potential weapon out of the back row for the Louisville offense.
Chicoine. And a net violation to boot. Louisville Cardinals offense, 4 with 10 or more. Chicoine the most with 27. Bray had to adjust. A point to the Cards, 4 now, as Mendoza quick to the green card.
So the ball was called out, but Marquette's challenging that Louisville was in the net on the same play, so it's also going to be a matter of timing.
Yeah, so would it matter if the net was contacted before the ball was ruled out?
Marquette is challenging. There was a net fault on the play.
So we're going to look right down the line. This is what our referee is looking at right now.
So as that ball goes outside the antenna, you see Louisville kind of pull their hands back on the block, and then I believe that's Hannah Sherman that catches the net on the way down.
After the review, there was a net fault on the Louisville blocker. Marquette will rechange their challenge.
An exhale for Mendoza. Successful challenge for Marquette. And we get a few more fingernails being chewed on as Meskey gets the explanation.
And I'm guessing what he's questioning here is the timing, because the call was the out of bounds call, so he's questioning that timing and then making sure that they are in the correct rotation and have the right server.
So
now it looks like they're discussing more the rotation, but the initial question was when this ball went outside the antenna, which was the call, or hit the antenna, which was the call on the floor, was that before or after the net violation? It seemed like Meskey got the right answer from the R2 that he wanted, that the R2 did look at that and deemed that the net violation is before the contact of the antenna.
It's a one-point game, 5th set. Ring, wide. Louisville the first to 8. And number 2 Louisville.
I love the energy, and look at the smiles from Coach Mendoza. That's the exact play that they wanted there coming out with Ring. The coaching staff was ready to celebrate, and so much energy here on both sides. A match that I don't think Marquette wants to end. They'll play 7 if we'd let them.
Let's keep going. Let's keep playing. Run it back out here. There's Natalie Ring. What a game by her. She thrived yesterday. She's been outstanding tonight.
Natalie Ring has done it all. She has put this young team on her back. 25 kills. We've seen her use every edge of this block. Swing from back row, out of the middle, right side in the back row, and on the left side. And then on the flip side, there has been Chloe Chicoine. She hasn't had to do quite as much with 4 Louisville attackers in double digits, but she has a career or a season high of 27 kills, and she has just been the emotional spark plug for Louisville tonight.
Chicoine is hitting 40%. And Ring, if we could add layers to that, she's got 6 digs and 4 blocks too. Just a dominant performance by the senior Natalie Ring.
And look for Marquette to come back from this timeout and really just rely on her. I think down the stretch now, you live and die from your senior leader, but Haggard does such a good job of moving this ball around. Look for people like Radiff and Bray to sneak in a few kills as well.
The winner, most likely to Lincoln, Nebraska. Depends on the result of #1 Cornhuskers in Kansas State. Kansas has already moved on. And then Louisville Marquette get the winner of Texas A&M and TCU. That match has begun. First serve was up at 8. So either the Horned Frogs or the Aggies await the Golden Eagles or the Cardinals.
And we saw the stat that flash there that Louisville has 4 hitters, not only with double-digit kills, but add Sherman to that mix with only 6 kills, but hitting .857. Their offense has been phenomenal tonight. And sure enough, Marquette comes out of that timeout and goes to Ring, even out of the back row.
Natalie Ring's come up huge, as has Marquette's only player from the state of Kentucky. Isabella Haggard, the setter, is serving. And a big swing from Blackshear.
That is Louisville's bread and butter. Get that ball up over the block and let Blackshear take a swing. Something Dan Meskey said is, we just always want to be the greatest version of ourselves. And I guarantee that quote was brought up in a huddle here as the pressure rises in this 5th set.
I expect her to be able to play 6 rotations in the near future. And then on the, I think she slid across the midline. And Louisville's grown their lead. They're 5 away. Second timeout by Marquette.
And I think that's Louisville's block. That is the greatest version of themselves. Setting up that block, Blackshear and Cressy, and being able to score there. Again, I expect Marquette to come out of this huddle ready to go. They are not backing down from any fight, and I'm guessing this next ball goes to Ring.
Yeah, Natalie Ring, career high, 28 kills. She's 2 away. Chloe Chicoine has met her career high. Been brilliant all night long. Now Louisville, again, we mentioned this earlier. It took a while to rev up, but Louisville, by the numbers, the 2nd best blocking team in the country. The 1st best, the top in the ACC. How does that defense arrive here as we're going down the stretch?
And that's what got them back in it. They had 0 in that 1st set. That's not Louisville. They want to average 4 per set. They started getting there in the 2nd, went backwards in the 3rd. Happens to be another set that they lost. Picked it back up in the 4th. They live and die behind that block.
In the sets that they've lost, they have had 1 combined block. 7 combined in the sets they've won. The winner gets Texas A&M or TCU in the round of 16. Most likely will be played in Lincoln, Nebraska. Everyone trying to get to Kansas City. on in mid-December.
And if you're watching this match right now, you want both teams to continue these streaks because you want to see these squads continue to compete.
And a stuff from Blackshear. The freshman rises. She's got the highest touch on the team, nearly 11 feet. And she stonewalled Marquette.
And besides mentioning that Calissa Blackshear was Freshman of the Year, we haven't really referenced her youth. She has stepped up and not played like a freshman.
Long by Peterson.
We're gonna see a challenge here on the touch.
And Louisville so close to a knockout. That's one you almost have to challenge.
Yeah, exactly. I think every
Louisville
close
is
ball here.
challenging that there was a block touch.
I think every close ball here, you have to scrap for points as the players and as the coaching staff. If that means using the green card to see if you can pick up a point, you do it.
So the ruling is that there was no touch. And Dan Meskey is saying that there was.
We're also going to see if that ball landed in, because if it landed in, it doesn't matter if there was a touch or not.
We're looking at what the referee is looking at. And now still going to be looking up at the net. Was there a touch there? So we're looking at the outstretched arms of Kira Schmidt, number 7 in blue.
Yep, and that ball goes past her inside hand, so we're probably looking at fingertips on one of those fingers of her inside left hand.
I think it depends on which color shirt you're wearing. That touch her finger, if you're in red, and absolutely if you're in blue, oh, it's so close.
I agree. I mean, there could be movement in that middle finger right there where you kind of get 2 frames.
We'll wait the news.
After review, the call will be reverse block touch on number 7. Louisville will retain their challenge.
Louisville 3 points away.
Louisville's going to confirm their server. Not a time in the game you would want to be out of rotation, so well done by the coaching staff to triple check. They got 3 of them up there checking.
That'd be very unfortunate. Camden Schran, a native of Kentucky. And the swing by the calm transfer from California. Elena Radiff.
Coming up huge. 0 errors tonight as well. That's her 10th kill.
Yeah, California cool under pressure. Mari King. Overpass by Louisville. Ring off the hands of Blackshear.
Ring is not ready for this to be over. She is going to scrap and claw till the end with power.
She can go all day, all night if she has to.
And I love her talking to her teammates right there. She said, 1 at a time, let's go.
Ring, kept alive by Schran. Ring, gets the point and the kill from Marquette. And the Golden Eagles are going nowhere. Timeout, Louisville.
Louisville had an opportunity there, had a free ball play. Cabello ran the ball a little too fast out to Peterson, gave Marquette one more chance, and Marquette and Ring were not letting that get away.
Here's what you were talking about.
That ball's just a little bit too fast. It was not above the height of the net by the time Peterson was able to contact. And if you give Ring more than one chance to score during a rally, she's taking it.
Bella Haggard, the native of Lexington, Kentucky, who did her club volleyball here in the Derby City. Keeping Marquette alive, finding Natalie Ring. Ring has, just the impact she's had. This is her 32nd straight game with over 10 kills. Now, she's blown that away today, but the last time she had in the single digits was over a year ago in the Big East Championship game on November 30th of 2024, and since then she's been dominant. 28 kills tonight.
And these are the moments where she really has the ability to make a name for herself. Everybody in the gym knows the ball is going to her. What does she do about it?
And you could see yesterday where she was just so overcome with the emotion of the moment, battling back, so proud of her teammates in the sweep against WKU. And today, she's battling back again. Look what she did yesterday. Today, even better.
She came to Louisville for this NCAA tournament to play.
Marquette trying to reach the third round, the round of 16 for the third year in a row. That one sailed.
We'll have a challenge here for a touch. We do have insider information as Blackshear just looked at her bench and said no.
Well, she only has one stake on it.
Marquette is challenging a block touch.
So the ruling was there was no touch. So Marquette hoping that there was on Blackshear.
Ring was definitely swinging to get a touch. Now, it looks like if there was a touch, it would have been possibly on Cressy.
So 13 and white.
So both things could be true. Blackshear could have not touched the ball as she told her bench, however. I think it would be the left hand, the inside hand of Cressy, but looks like maybe as Cressy reached to her right, Ring hit inside the block.
Call on the floor is confirmed, no touch. Marquette will lose their challenge.
So Blackshear was both right and a little clairvoyant. Marquette's got one more challenge to use. They've got one more timeout to burn. Tom Mendoza has to be very judicious. Hannah Kenny began this fifth set serving. It's rotated back to her. And off of Kenny, Ring gets the kill. Marquette staying alive.
So smart there from Ring to take a little bit of power off.
What more magic does Marquette have? Not enough for Cressy. Set point, match point. And a chance to go to the round of 16 on the line. Timeout, Marquette.
And you can tell that everyone in this arena on both sides knows that this is the chance to move on to that Nebraska regional semifinal.
Here at match point, looking ahead. Their immediate future for the winner of this is either Texas A&M or TCU, both seeded. And then in the future, potentially Nebraska versus Kansas. How delectable that Kansas State-Kansas matchup would be. If it was Kansas State-Kansas, then it would be played here in Louisville, Kentucky.
At this point, I don't think anyone in this crowd is thinking past this match right now and being able, all the Louisville fans are ready for this five-setter to be in the books.
You know, we look at the volume here, the biggest crowds in L&N Federal Credit Union Arena. Some birds have showed up. We're only 2 away from 1,100. I don't know, I can't find 2 more. But some robust crowds, and it gets loud in here.
And it's not a big venue, but it's a great volleyball venue. Look how close the crowd is to the floor, and they have brought noise tonight. Louisville needed the noise and the crowd help from this home court advantage for a Marquette team that came to play.
Match point for Louisville. Peyton Peterson, who has been so crucial for Louisville in her sophomore campaign, will serve. Marquette has no more timeouts. Her mom watches on. And Marquette can breathe still. The serve was out. For the 5th consecutive season, the Louisville Cardinals are going to regional semifinals, 10th overall in program history. A year ago, that journey brought them all the way back to Louisville, Kentucky for the national championship, where they fell. Where they fell to. They fell on the road. And so, Louisville, though, that journey will continue, and they will get the winner of Texas A&M and TCU. Potentially going to Nebraska, where #1 Nebraska has yet to play. And now, Steph Cantwell.
We have Coach Mesky and Kara Cressy here. Coach, just tell us what it's like to battle through that five-setter.
You got a player like Kara Cressy, you always feel pretty good. That the ball she hit at the end off 1 foot was huge for us, and I thought our crowd really came alive. Big credit to Marquette. I thought, their outgoing senior, Natalie Ring, was fantastic. She played so well, and it was hard to find solutions for her, but we're excited to come away with a win.
Kara, 0 blocks as a team in the first set. Not normal for Louisville volleyball, but you turned it around in that second set. Talk about what blocking means to this squad and how you lead that show.
Yeah, Dan, the past few years has always set us up for success to be a good blocking team, and when we go into the first set not getting blocks, obviously that's frustrating. We knew we had to come back and just trust our scout, trust what we had scouted this whole week, and just go out there and play our way of defense.
What does the next week look like for this team as you head to another regional semifinal?
Yeah, obviously it's a really big week. I feel like Marquette was a really great challenge for us, and going into next week, we know it's just going to get harder the rest of the way, so we're excited to take on the challenge.
Great job to both of you. Congratulations and good luck down the stretch.
Louisville legend, thank you.
What a performance by Kara Cressy. Defensively, 7 blocks. Offensively, 13 kills. She had a mean right hand from the outside. The middle, standing tall. And Louisville will move on. What's next for them? Either Texas A&M or TCU. They're playing now, as is Nebraska and Kansas State. Potentially here in Louisville, maybe in Nebraska. Final thoughts after a thriller against Marquette.
There's something to be said for that this Nebraska quadrant was set up for that maiden TV matchup. We'll see how Nebraska does here tonight, but Nebraska versus Louisville would be quite a matchup with DBK coming back into the picture. But don't sleep on Texas A&M, TCU, and Kansas.
The 34th meeting between these two teams was outstanding, and you only wish there could be a 35th. That's all for the NCAA volleyball second round. What an amazing match. For analyst Steph Cantway and our entire ESPN production crew, this is Jonathan Mathis saying so long from Louisville. The Cardinals will move on with a 3-2 victory and a lot of chewed up fingernails over Marquette.